Hi Lee, thanks so much for coming on my Four on a Friday with me. How are you going?
Yeah, pretty well.
Yeah, that's great. So for those of you that don't know, I'm Liz Patterson and this is our Four on a Friday. I'm a local candidate in the upcoming Surf Coast Shire Council elections. So Lee, would you want to introduce yourself and tell everyone a bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. So my name's Leigh. I live on the Surf Coast and have done for quite some time. Moving from Barwon Heads very long time ago over to the Surf Coast, I've been involved in local sporting communities through surf club, basketball, football with my children throughout the years. But I also have another role in my work life that I'm really fortunate that I work across the G21 region as the executive officer of the Barwon Adelescent Task Force. So that enables me to look at community in very different ways.
Yeah, that would give you a really unique perspective from your own kids as well as that overarching regional perspective on youth.
Yeah, for sure. And just seeing, over the years developing and lobbying for schools on the Surf Coast, things like that. So, yeah, it's a really great way to see how things fit together.
Great. And what is it that you love about living on the Surf Coast?
I thought about this question before, and it's actually really, I think, to be honest, I'm happy where the ocean meets the land anywhere in Australia. It's a really important thing to me. What I like about the Surf Coast, I think as I grow older, is the memories I've got of my children growing up there and the activities we've done together. Um, our dogs have always loved being down there, and the friendship groups I've made, and I suppose like you're about to go through, the majority of my friendships have been built through the activities my children have done, that I've met like-minded people. But I kind of wonder if just because we live in that sort of place, we have more shared values because we
Mm.
choose to live in a certain place, whether that, we're not all the same, but we tend to have a few more shared values when we live in a community like that and that sense. So I think that's probably a bit of the balance.
It's interesting you say that. I was reminiscing with my husband the other day. I said, Sean, it's amazing. Our son Gus, he ends up being friends with all these awesome people. I love it. I get to meet his parents and they're always people I get along with. And my husband was like, Liz, I don't think it's Gus. I think it's where we live. It's not a coincidence that all the families have shared values and interests and we get along so well. So I think that's sort of what you said there, lots of people with shared interests and it's a great community to be part of. The next question I've got for you, Lee. What is a key issue that you think is facing our community on the Surf Coast?
I think there's a uniqueness to coastal communities, and I was living in Barwon Heads when the whole sea change phenomenon happened. So we got to see that you can have predicted growth, and then you can have what we call upper daisy growth, which is there's an event or something like that. And at the moment, we're seeing a big shift in people coming down here because of what's happening in metro areas. So sometimes we talk about growth and predicted growth, but that unexpected growth and what that means to a community. So I suppose having a look at that across the Surf Coast, and when I say the Surf Coast, I mean the whole of the Surf Coast, not just that central area. What does it mean to all those communities that may not be getting that in-town growth? Has that impact? And the infrastructure goes with that. But I think for me, the most important thing from a local government perspective is really starting to understand middle years. We have really good policy frames from 0 to 8 and 12 to 25, but there's no man's land from 8 to 12 where it's so critical to connect with whole of family so we can set young people up really well in the future, is an area I'd really like to see a lot more focus on locally.
Yeah, that's great. I can definitely see that. My son's just about to turn 8, and it's true. It's that sort of funny age where they're not really confident enough to be wholeheartedly in a footy club or engaged in one of those clubs, but they're no longer at that maternal child health. Yeah, I hadn't thought of that issue and that importance of that age there, but I'm glad you raised that one. It's definitely something to learn more about. And my next question for you is, what does a healthy, connected community mean to you?
I drove past one of your signs and saw those three words, and I sort of had a bit of a think about it. And I said, it's the perfect audit tool, really. If we want to look at how our communities are faring, has everybody got access to healthy lifestyle? Has everybody got access to being connected? And has everyone got access to community? And if we can answer that for every single person in community, we're a strong community. It's when we tend to build systems around a percentage of community and we leave people off, you know, we're only ever as, you know, I'm a sports coach by nature, and, you know, we're only ever as strong as our weakest player. So it's about creating an opportunity where we can audit that saying and say, you know, does everyone have access to healthy foods? You know, we know, you know, access to social housing, you know, that's a big issue for us on the Surf Coast. So we don't have to move away from community as these big sort of blips happen. How do we make sure we look after people in our own community? Really important. So I suppose for me, it's really simple. It's an audit tool. You know, it's a check-in to see that we're doing it.
Yeah, that's great. I love that. I hadn't thought of it. I mean, you've summed up all of the things that I think is important in a health and connected community, but I love the idea of an audit tool. That's great. Thanks, Leigh. That's really good. Well, I really appreciate you having a chat with me today and hearing your views. They're very insightful, and you've definitely given me some ideas to think further on and develop some more things on if I get elected into council. So once again, thanks for your time, and I'll see you around town.
Yeah, and thanks for thinking about community. Take care and good luck.
Great. Thanks, Leigh. See ya.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.